Hello again to another one of my videos, and happy 2018 everybody! Especially to my subscribers, all 7 of you. Anyways, so today I'm doing a redraw of an old reference sheet I did for a club that I joined back in my early years of DeviantArt. I decided to redraw this in particular because another user who was in the club, Mr. Asqui, redesigned the template that was used for the members' OCs. And the moment I saw their work, I was compelled to reuse it again. And so here we are, or rather, here you are, watching me, or listening, I don't know, drawing and talking about the very character that's on the desktop for most of my videos. Look, you can see a sliver of him right now, right behind the color wheel. I should mention a thing or two about him, shouldn't I? Okay, so its name is Trojan, and he's an AI virus made on some random guy's computer. And he was basically the sneaky antagonist of the club that I joined, which basically took place on the internet. Hence the uncreative choice of naming a virus after a virus. And what Trojan would do is try to steal something from the other users, or the other OCs rather. And if basically his powers were if he touches you, your system would freeze up or crash or glitch out or whatever. So all he needs to do is give you a high five and you're kinda doomed. But it's not a long lasting effect. It only happens if you touch his hands. So if you touch his hat or his tail, then nothing will happen as a result. You'll be perfectly fine. Only the hands are a no-go. And the reason why I made him the protagonist, even though he was an antagonist of the club, why I picked this OC to partake, was because since the club took place in the cyber world or the internet, it just made more sense to make an antagonist a virus rather than an actual user of the internet. And I even joined an OCT before joining the Hackers Battle Club with a different character. But that's not what we're talking about today. We're talking about this guy, Trojan, and the drawing process of him. Let's get back on track. His design is basically the same, except for his color scheme. Originally, it was just black and white with a skin-looking flesh on the head, and the inside of his mouth and eyes were a green color, an electric green or something like that. I don't know what you call that color. The eyes and mouth are still the same, but everything else I changed because I was making a gift for another user who was in the same club as I was back when I made this guy. And while I was doing that, I thought his color scheme was a bit bland for me. That didn't really hint much that Trojan was a program instead of a user or a person. So for the recoloring, I decided to focus more on the green spectrum so that it gives off the nod that he is a program. He was made on the computer, much like how the Matrix did it by tinting the cyber world green. And I gotta tell ya, the skin part, the head, was the hardest part, and either looking too green, like the Wicked Witch of the West green, or he was getting sick and basically ready to hurl on you. But I managed to find a balance between the yellow and the green, where his skin shows a tint of green without him looking like he's getting queasy and is about to hurl. And with that gift done, I'm actually using that as the reference sheet for his color palette. I'll put a link to the whole picture in the description below. Boy, this part, I don't know why, but this part was the hardest. Everything else was basically fine. But the eyes in this redraw just didn't look right. So I had to work on it until it It just seemed good enough, which took longer than it should. I even had to like reapply guidelines and help me figure out how to place the eyes in an attempt to fix them. And ain't that annoying when it happens? When you're working on something and you get to the easiest thing that you've done a million times, but this one time, it suddenly becomes the hardest thing to do. But hey, Trojan's supposed to be a pain, the eyes were a pain, it fits in the end, especially since we're basically almost done. Thanks for tuning in. Hope your New Year's is starting off swell, and I'm working on the last chapter of Volume 3 of my comic series in progress, The Trickster's Aprete's Tales. Bye!